Now let's understand different type of a variable. Now why do we need this type of a variable? Let me create one type of a class over here, and inside this class I will just write it as static, capital letter for class static variable. Okay, static variable. And now inside this I'll just put it as main method. Inside this main method I would also like to add certain methods like public static void add method. Okay, now inside the same way I would like to have the subtract method also. Subtract method. Now inside the subtract method, now what I want to do is just now we have understood that whatever the variables are declared inside the method itself, those are local variables and they are not able to be accessed inside another methods. Okay, that problem was there. Now how to solve this problem? Now whenever you are having this type of variables but you want the accessibility to be inside each and every methods or inside the different classes also, it is fine. Now at that point of time, to increase the accessibility or to enhance the accessibility of any type of variable, what do we do is whatever these methods are there, one method, two method, and inside this three method, okay, whatever these methods are there, we do not declare variables. We declared outside all of the methods but inside the class. Okay, outside the method but inside the class I declare one type of a variable, that is int a equals to 60. Okay, same variable I'm just taking, int a equals to 60. Okay, now along with that I'll just add one modifier, that is static. Okay, this is static. I am just adding it over here. Now what happens that any variable that you are declaring outside the method but inside the class, they are known as global variables. But inside this global variable also there are two types. One type of variable that you are looking at is a static variable. Now what type of problem this serves is these global variables would be accessible inside each and every method that you have inside the same class, but they will also be accessible inside another class also. Okay, so it will be very easy for us. Now let's see, I have a, I would like to have int b also, int b as 30. Okay, now let's see what is the addition of this. So I would like to say the addition of two number is, I'll just put it as c, or I should put it as, yep, over here I'll just put inside local variable, I'll just declare as int c equals to nothing but a plus b. A plus b, that's it. Okay, Control Shift and F to prettify the format. So I'll just put it over here as c. I just have to print what? C. Got it? Now let's do the addition and let's have a look that how do we see the value. Okay, I'm just calling this method inside the main method. So let's have a look. Here we have the addition. Okay, 60 plus 30 is nothing but 90. Now let's see the subtraction. How do we see the subtraction? Now how will you see? Inside the subtraction, if you have to do int result equals to a minus b. Got it? Now same way over here also we will copy the same thing, and over here I'll just put subtraction of two number is nothing but result. Okay, got it? Let's run this and let's see. Okay, I did not call it. Let's call it inside the main method. That's very important, otherwise the method will not get executed. Okay, so let's run it and we are able to see that subtraction of two number is 30. Okay, 60 minus 30 is nothing but 30. Got it? Now let's also have the multiplication. Why not? Okay, we can also have the multiplication also. Here I'll write multiply. Okay, instead of this a minus b, I'll just put it as star, which is nothing but multiply. So multiplication of two number is nothing but result only. Okay, that's fine. Now I need to call this method again inside the main method. Got it? So this way you can see that the multiplication would also be done. 6 3 8 means 6 times 3 is 18 and 2 times 0, that is 1800. All are coming as exact results. Now only 2 times you have declared the variable, but outside the method, but inside the class. Now what is happening with this? These variables are actually accessible inside each and every methods. Now this type of variables are known as global variables. Okay, now inside these global variables also there are two kinds. One is static variable that you are looking at it right now, and another one also you will get to see immediately after this. But before that, I would like to showcase it to you one more program with the help of which you will get to understand, or you will have much more clarity. Okay, so let's go ahead and understand about that program, in which I would like to give you the understanding of the accessibility of variables. Okay, Control W just to remove that. Now I'll create one class as sample3. This is my class. Okay, I would like to have no method inside this. Now let's create few static variables. String name equals to Ram. Okay, now not only name, I would like to have int age also. Age would be, and since it is number, no need to provide it in quotes. I'll just provide 28. And another thing, I can provide it as roll number. Roll number also would be what? Roll number. Okay, this is also going to be what? When number only. So 908 is my roll number. Okay, now over here these all are nothing but variables. What type of variables? Since static is there, these are static variables. Okay, global variables. Okay, now let us understand one more part. If I create public static void, okay, test method, inside this, if I'm just writing it like this, system.out.println, I'll just write it as running test method. Okay, running test method, parenthesis means test method in sample3, right? Sample3. Okay, this is what I have just created, nothing else. Okay, now I'm going to create another class, that is run class. Okay, inside that I would like to have a main method. Got it? Now inside this I can call whatever the static methods are there or static variables inside any class. But how? If I have to call any static variables from one class to another, how can I call? So let's have a look over here. If you have to call any static variables, so you will have to first print it. If you want to print it or you want to utilize it, then only you are calling those variables. System.out.println, inside this only I would like to utilize those variables. I would like to print that name equals to plus. Okay, plus. Whenever you are calling any variable which is declared as a static, okay, you can, and that too you are calling inside another class, then what you need to do is put the name of the class, then dot put the name of the variable. That's it. So inside this I am just trying to call my name variable. So from which class I'm going to call? From this class, dot which variable you want to call. See, name3, it is coming over here, sample name3. Okay, so name. Now I'm able to call this. Okay, Now here I have not called test method of this class. Okay, now we'll call that as well. If you want, I can call that method before this only. I can write test this. See, but this is giving error. Why it is giving error? Boss, you just have a look over here. This method is also static, right? And this method is also there inside the same class. So over here, if this is inside the same class, you will have to write class name dot method name. See, you are able to find test. Getting? You are able to call this also. Good. Now let's also print the age. System.out.println age is, or I'll just write age equals to plus sample 3, control and spacebar. Let's see anything that I'm getting. Okay, spelling is wrong, so no worries, whatever the spelling is doesn't matter. Now here it is age. Good. Now let's print it and let's have a look. Here we have understood how do we see the accessibility, how do we access any variable inside another class when it is declared as static. So let's run it as Java application, and we are able to see that test method is also called inside this class, name is also called inside this class, and age is also called inside this class. Good, great. Now we are able to say this. This is what static variable. This is how we have understood. Do you know, when you are talking about local variables, inside local variables, guys, you cannot provide static as a modifier. I'll talk about it little later and you'll get to have the clarity about this as well. Okay, now since it is a static variable, guys, you should understand one part, that whenever you are not providing any value to the static variable, JVM will provide the static variable. The JVM will provide the value to that static variable. Do you know how? Let's have a look. I'll create one class and I'll just name it as default values. Okay, I'll just write over here, and inside this I will write whatever the methods are there, whatever the variables are there, how many variables, whatever the number of data types are there. Based on that, I'll just write all the variables. So static byte, I'll just put it as A. Static short, I'll just put it as B. Static int, I'll just put it as C. Long, let's put as float. Here it is, here also it is C. Here I'll put it as D, E. Okay, now along with float, what another data type we have? We have double. Okay, now after that what do we have? Boolean status. Okay, and after that what do we have? Char. Ch. That's it. See, this is all what, guys? This is all what? This is all known as declaration. This is all known as declaration without initialization. That's it, nothing. Along with this, one derived data type also I'll try to take, that is nothing but string. I'll just put it as name. Okay, now let's have a print statement for everything. Okay, so value of I'll just write byte is plus A, and I'll write 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's write value of short is B. Okay, value of int is C. Okay, here it is nothing but D. Here I'll put E. Here it is F, here it is status. Okay, what is D? What is D? D is what? Long. And what is E? E is what? Float. Okay, you wanna see what is F? Tell me what is F? What is F? It is double. Now what is this status? Status is nothing but boolean. Okay, now along with this we also have char and we also have string. So here it is char is what? Ch. Okay, now what is string? String is nothing but name. Here I'll put it as string. Got it? This is very simple, fairly very simple. And now with the help of this program, I would like to show you that whatever the variables you are declaring outside the method but inside the class, outside the method but inside the class, those variables, for those variables JVM, whenever it is doing the execution of the program, JVM will provide the default values for each and every declaration, okay, based on the data type that you have. If the data type is integral data type, integer number, default integer number, that is 0, it will be provided. If the data type is float and double, what is the default value for that? What is the default data? That is 0.0. What is the default value for boolean? It is false. What is the default value for char? We'll see to it. What is the default value of string? It is null. Okay, for char it is character space. What is character space? You will not be able to see. If you just press the space bar, okay, that is nothing but one character space. So for char data type, the default value is character space. Okay, now let's have a look to this and let's see. If you do not provide any values, see, the values are provided by JVM, and you see over here for char the character space is also provided. Okay, got it? This is the benefit of the declaration of a variable outside the method. But this does not happen with the local variable. For local variable, JVM is not bothered because local variables are the temporary variables, but the global variables like the static variable and the instance variable, what will happen is JVM knows that these variables are going to be utilized by multiple methods of the same class, and also even there is a scope of their utilization in another class. That's why JVM actually provides the default values if user has skipped it. If the user has not skipped, then it is going to be the same value. Okay, the user provides. Okay, that's fine. Now over here we got to see that what if you are doing declaration and without initialization, utilization can exist. For global variables, immediately after declaration utilization can exist, but for local variables immediately after declaration and if you are doing utilization, you are getting what? Error. Variable X might not have been initialized. That error you got, right? Getting? So this is static type of variable which is known as global variable if it is globally located. Okay, now static is a modifier which will come only for the variables which are declared outside the method but inside the class. This is nothing but static variable. Got it, guys? Okay, now we have understood this much part. Now when do we declare the variable as static? See, what happens is if the value of a variable is not varying from object to object, which we will get to see in the instance variable, then it is recommended that you will use static variable. Got it? Now let's create another type of a class inside which you will get to understand the instance variable. Okay, I'll create a package like over here, not here at the src level. I'll just create a package like instance variable. Okay, got it. Now after this in instance variable, I'm just going to create one class. Good. Okay, Now I have created this class as instance variable. Now inside this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare some variables outside the method only, but inside the class, but they will lack static keyword into it. Like if int x is equal to 20, okay, if I'm doing it like this, what will happen? See, this is known as instance variable. This is known as instance variable. Now what happens with this instance variable is, whatever this instance variable is, for this instance variable, you will get to see that you will have to create an object to access this. Okay, now if you are just attaching static keyword with this becomes what? Static variable. Okay, so we do not want to have a static variable over here. We would like to have this as instance variable. Those are also all known as data members of the class. Okay, data member. Getting? This is known as instance variable. Now whenever it is instance variable, guys, you cannot access it directly. Instance variable, or you can also call it as non-static variable. Non-static variable. What happens that you cannot access it directly. What you need to do is you need to create object of the whole class. Okay, so how do we create an object of the whole class? First you will write the name of the class, then you will write any reference variable, any variable name equals to new keyword or an operator with the help of which object is created. Again you will write, after that you will write the name of the class, and then you will write parenthesis, and then you will put semicolon. This is how you create an object of a class. See, object will be created only for classes. Object is not created of variable. Object is not created for any method. Okay, of any method. Okay, we create object only for the class. We create object only of the classes. We cannot create object of the variable. We cannot create object of the methods. So we always create object of the class. Now what happens when you are creating any object of the class? Let's have a look over here. Say, how do you create any object? You just write first class name, okay, any reference variable equals to new, and then you will write again class name, and then you will put this. Now what happens with this is a new keyword or an operator. It's what? It's a keyword or an operator which creates an object. It will see this much part here. This much part is known as declaration. Okay, so what is this? This much part is known as initialization. Getting? Now over here what is happening is this new keyword or an operator, this will create one small space in the memory. Say for example this much is space. This will be little bigger than the variables, those variables. Okay, and inside this is the space memory allocated. Okay, and inside this whatever the content of the class is there, which is non-static. Okay, the methods will be non-static, variables will be non-static. Sometimes methods also, whatever the methods will be there, they will also not be attached with a static keyword. Okay, so with a static keyword these methods will also not be attached. So main method cannot be without a static keyword. Say for example any other method that you have, if you remove a static keyword from there, then then you can say that this method is nothing but non-static method. Okay, anywhere if static keyword is not attached, then it is known as non-static method. And for all the non-static contents, or for all the non-static members of the class, okay, if you have to access, you will have to create object of the class. Okay, so you have created this object of the class, and inside this, what all values will be coming from our class, that is x is equal to 20, and rest nothing is there which is non-static. So inside this we have x is equal to 20. Now once the object has been created, okay, once the object has been created, immediately, okay, inside this, immediately once the object has been created, immediately some address will be there, some address will be there for the okay, for the object. You can also call this in terms of hash code value. Every object will have unique value that is known as hash code value. Okay, you will get to understand this little later, but just keep this in mind that all the objects those are which are getting created, they will have hash code value. Okay, that hash code value will be transferred, immediately assigned to the reference variable, okay, using this assignment operator. So this is another type of a variable which we are going to study. This is known as reference variable. Okay, before that, using this reference variable only, we'll get to know that the whatever the material is there inside this, you can access using this reference variable only. You will say what? Say for example, test t equals to new test. Got it? Now after this, what you are trying to do is, t is what? Your reference variable, which is actually pointing towards what? One object where x is equal to 20 is there. Okay, so how will you refer to x now? You will say t dot is the reference operator dot x. Inside t, x you are trying to find out. If any method is there, t dot test method is there. Okay, t dot test method is there. You will be able to call it like this. Okay, so this is how we call. Now if you have to do what? If you will have to make a utilization of this using the reference variable only, you will make the utilization. So let's have a look over here and let's see what I'm trying to. So ref, if you have to make the utilization of the variable is of x equals to plus ref. Okay, see, you are not getting any error. So let's have a look. See, the value of x is instance variable class name dot instance variable, the instance variable is the package name, then dot the name of the class, then the hash code value, the unique value that object had, okay, that you are printing. See, whenever you are trying to print any reference variable, it will print it like this only. Okay, so if you have to print the value ref dot, you will have to do x. See, it is coming from instance variable. So now if you want to run, you can run it as Java application and you will see that value of x is 20. Got it? What is the difference? Now this reference variable is not the same type of variable that you are using right now. Okay, it's not a static variable. I mean, it's not a primitive type of a variable. I'll conclude at last also. It will become very easy for you. Now this is instance variable. Okay, instance variables are accessed by the objects only. But you might be thinking, boss, why do we need objects? What is the need of it? Why we want to have those kind of objects? See what happens, guys. I'll write one type of a program. Yeah, I would like to have this inside my variable, that is my instance variable is there. Inside this I'll create one class as student class. Okay, student class. Okay, now inside this do I need a main method? Yes, I would like to have a main method. Now I have these variables as static. Okay, I would like to remove them as static. Okay, let's have them as this. Now what I want to do is, initially, say for example one school is there, and that school is nothing but, I'll just put it as string school equals to Jane, or I'll just write DAV school. Okay, that's it, termination. Okay, now things like this, I do not want to provide roll number, I do not want to provide age, and I do not want to provide the name of the candidate also. I just want to have everything which will keep on changing. Okay, I do not want to declare. Okay, things will do not change, I will just declare it as a static. Okay, as static. What I'm doing over here, see what happens, guys. I am giving one contract of creating ID cards for each and every sections and each and every class of my school. Okay, so my school is DAV school, and I have around 2200 students into my class. Okay, so each student will have different name, each student will have different age, they will have a different roll number definitely. Okay, but all of them will have same school, that is DAV school. Okay, things which do not change, object to object, we declare them as static, and things which change object to object, we do not declare them as static, we keep them as instance variable. Now 20% it might have become clear. Now let me make it full clear to you. Say for example, first of all let me write the program itself. Let me write a program, and over here inside this I would like to create one object, student s is equal to new student. Okay, this is how I have created the object. Now along with this I would like to create one method also, public static. Okay, or instead of static I can put public void display method is there. Okay, inside this I would like to display the name, age, roll number and school. Okay, I'll just write it as system.out.println name equals to plus name. Got it? Simple, very simple. Okay, another one is age. Age is equals to what? Age equals to this, and over here I have roll number, and over here I also have school. Okay, fine. You see that I'm not getting any problem over here. Okay, what is going to happen over here is, just now you just have a look. If I create s as the object of the whole class, whatever the non-static contents are there will be loaded to the object. What all non-static contents are there? This and this whole method. Okay, what are static content? This and this method. Got it? Now from here, if you would like to print the value s dot, what is the name of the method? It is display. So what will happen is whenever you will call this method, it will print the value. But as of now I have not initialized all of these things, only initialized value is school. That's why it will print what? See, everything default value, only name as DAV school. A lot of things are coming right now. Just pack up your belt. Okay, now let's do an initialization of the variables inside the object, guys. What is happening? See, I have created right now, I have created what? Student S equals to new student. Okay, now inside this I am saying that this has created what? One object. Inside this name is there, equals to, I'll put as Ram. I'll initialize this name as Ram, and I'll put the age of Ram as 18. I'll put the roll number as 908. But do I have only one candidate? No, I have many candidates. So what I'll do later on is I'll just create student S2 equals to new student, and again when in the new object has been created, right, again see, you will see that I have not provided values to these variables. So again they will be reset. Inside this object they have been initialized, but this is object number 2. Inside this they are not initialized again. Okay, age, roll number, they all are new. They needs to be initialized with Rakesh. Age is 28 or 30 or 31, 32, and here roll number is 909. Okay, 909. This is how you will be providing your values. So what is happening, if you are creating one object, that means you are inside one object you are adding one detail of one student. Okay, so how will you add? As dot name. Okay, this is how you have called as dot name is equal to, first of all you are going to put Ram. Okay, and s dot age equals to, you are going to put it as 28, and then s dot roll number equals to 908. Got it? Now in which object you have made the changes? Object S. Which method, which display method you are calling? From S only. Okay, from S only. Inside this one method is also there, right? Inside this one method is also there, that is display. Okay, it will print, it will use all of these values and it will print. Here also display is there. Okay, it will call all of these values and it will print. So let's have a look. Let's see how things are going on. So let's have a look. Run as this, and same way if I am going to create another student, that is S1, I'll just put S1. Here I'll change the name as Rakesh. Age is 30 and roll number is 10108. Okay, now I am going to print another object, guys, S1. Now in every object name variable is changing, age variable is changing, and roll number variable value is changing. Okay, now see here, Rakesh, age is 30, name is 108. Now what did you observe over here? If the value of a variable is going to change object by object, then you should declare the variable as instance variable. But if you see that the value of a variable is not going to change anytime, then you should declare the variable as static variable. Now during the course of time, if you are changing the value of a static variable, say for example you are doing school equals to Jain International School. Okay, you did this. Okay, during the course of time, if you are doing this, okay, and after that if you are creating any object, student s3 equals to new student, okay. Now after this, if you are just going to call s3 dot name, we'll call later at display method later, and here s3 dot age and s3 dot roll number, okay. We need to provide the values also 100. This age is equal to 34 and name is equal to Radha, okay. That's it. Now let us see that the value of the school that I have changed over here, which was declared as a static, what will happen to that. Now that is our point of notice. So let's have a look. See now over here, first time it was DAV school, second time also DAV school. After the change I'm getting Jain International School. Now if I create another object, once again if I create another object s4, okay, and after that also in s4 dot display if I do, okay, you will be able to see that this is again showcasing that only Jain International value is there. Now the value of DAV has been changed to Jain International. Why? Because there is a difference between instance variable and static variable. There is a difference between non-static variable and static variable. What is the difference? You know, these values keeps on changing. These values keeps on changing object to object. Okay, if you have declared any value in every object, if you have declared any value in every object, they will have the same value. Or if you have not declared any value in every object, they will not have any value. Okay, so in every object, whatever the value you are assigning, that will remain to that object itself. Okay, that will remain to that object itself. That's why in one school we can have we have 2200 students, and in outside 2200 students, I am saying that whatever the number of students are there, they will have distinct details, unique details. So for those unique details, we are going to store those values, unique details, name, roll number, age and all, inside instance variable. But school name is not going to change for 2200 students, right? That's why we declared it as a static. And these static variables are not object level, they are stored in .class file. In the .class file, once you have done the reinitialization of this variable, again new .class file has been created, and inside that new .class file, new value has been initialized. Now every time this value will be called whenever you are trying to print it. So what is the last updated value? What is the latest updated value inside the school? It is Jain International School. Okay, this is the difference between instance variable and local variable. If you want to have different type of variables which are nothing but which are changing from object to object, you need to declare those variables as instance variable. And if you see that the variable value is not going to change from object to object and it is going to be constant, then you should declare it as static. Got it? That's it from the instance variable point of view. Now let's have a look at the different part.